The only time my father really felt like he was a person was when he was drunk. Maria came from an alcoholic family.
Each of whom had had a tormented childhood, had a child of their own, Judith.
I mean, he used to threaten us all the time, too, about burning the house down, killing us and burning the house down.
Joe Barsi had now twice threatened to kill his daughter. Firemen found Judith and her mother, Maria, murdered by Judith's father.
Poor little Judy.
Yep.
This 10-year-old movie star had all the warning signs, outbursts at auditions, and pleads to stay on set to avoid going home. Someone, including her mother, could have stopped this tragedy from happening. But no matter what, her dad was determined to kill her, and he stayed true to his word. So let's get into it. We're going to be talking about one of the most disturbing Hollywood stories I've ever covered on my channel, and it involves a 10-year-old child star who was murdered by her father. And in my opinion, her father is the definition of evil. Now, her name is Judith Barsi, and she was tragically killed at just 10 years old. Now, Judith was a promising child star before her father, Joe, decided to take her life and kill off her mother, Maria, as well. On the outside, it seemed like Judith had it all. I mean, she was 10 years old. She had a number of film and TV roles. She appeared in Cheers and Jaws: The Revenge. Her voice was also used in animated movies, so she was bringing in a lot of money.
Hi, Daddy.
Hi, baby.
Do the teething, Daddy, please.
Oh, honey, I don't think Miss Bell really wants to be bothered.
Mommy says she tells stories all the time.
I mean, at 10 years old, you'd think she had a dream life, but behind the scenes, Joe terrorized his family. He got physical with both Judith and Maria, and he also got really nasty verbally. While Judith was successful in Hollywood despite the odds, because it's not like she came from a Nepo family, she came here from a family of immigrants who really did pursue the American dream, and they were headed down a great path.
Ever since Mom and Dad found out that Donald Duck is 100% pure orange juice, they've been acting kind of funny. I mean, I know it tastes good, but really.
Honest, a giant green gorilla drink it all up.
Oh, please. We don't know what to do with them anymore. Oh, well, maybe it's just a phase. Oh, don't look sad. You look cuter with a smile.
If it comes from fruit corners, it's made with real fruit.
Love your eyes. Help, I can't see.
So as Judith's career began to grow, she brought in more and more money, which makes me question why her father would act in this way, because he was already exploiting his daughter for cash. I mean, what more could he want? Casting directors loved Judith. I don't know if she would have made it through to adult acting. She was so small, so she could play a 7 or 8-year-old when she was in fact 10. And she was a happy, bubbly little girl despite what was going on at home. Judith's success helped her family thrive. She made about $100,000 a year, which doesn't sound like as much as you'd think for a movie star, but it was the 80s. Maria, her mother, was ecstatic that her daughter was a superstar. She bought this home. They were living the life, but her father, Joe, wasn't ever happy.
Hi there, what's your name? Anna. Hi, Anna. Can I do something? Anna, come back here. No, Liz, I like Pucky. I want to help her. Yes. Hey, guys, somebody's coming.
Let's talk a little bit about her father, Joe, and what would have led him to do this. Now, he was a heavy drinker and quick to get angry. He would constantly threaten to kill his wife and to kill his daughter. A friend named Peter recalled that Joseph told him hundreds of times that he wanted to kill his wife. His friend Peter said, "I'll try to calm him down. I'll tell him if you'd kill her, what would happen to your little one?" And guess what Joe responded? He said, "I'd have to kill her too." So he's comfortable not only taking out his wife, but taking out his superstar daughter as well. And she's only 10 years old. On one occasion, Joe grabbed a kite from Judith. When Judith was worried he'd break it, Joe called his daughter a spoiled brat who didn't know how to share, and he smashed the kite into pieces. Another time, as Judith prepared to fly to the Bahamas to film Jaws, Joseph threatened her with a knife and said, "If you decide not to come back, I will cut your throat." Now, 10 is whenever he actually did go and kill her, but I don't know how old she was when she was getting these kind of threats, and I can't imagine being such a young kid and hearing your father who's supposed to be your protector, saying this. One witness overheard a conversation between the father and daughter soon after while Judith and Maria visited him in New York. He says, remember what I told you before you left? That led Judith to burst into tears. And it turns out that Joe comes from a really troubled background. I mean, he had another family before he went on to marry Maria. He wasn't really kind to them. He didn't have a great upbringing. He struggled. Nonetheless, it's no excuse for how he behaved here, and definitely not for killing someone. But yeah, he's never really been happy or joyful. Never once in his life.
Joe's daughter from his first marriage, Augie, points to the beginning of his life in Hungary and his illegitimate birth.
Back in Hungary, if you don't have a father, I mean, that's just like the plague. And so when he would go to school, kids would make fun of him, always make fun of him. And my father had absolutely no self-esteem. The only time my father really felt like he was a person was when he was drunk.
After Joe's violence-filled marriage to Augie's mother ended in a bitter divorce, he entered another abusive relationship with Maria Virovac.
Maria came from an alcoholic family, an abusive family. Her father physically abused her and psychologically abused her.
Soon, this couple, each of whom had had a tormented childhood, had a child of their own, Judith.
Now, Judith's home life began to affect her day-to-day work. She plucked out all of her eyelashes and her cat's whiskers. She told her friend she was afraid to go home, saying, my daddy is drunk every day and I know he wants to kill my mother. I can't imagine the really stressful life that Judith must have lived, being so young, being between her parents and such a violent man, and then working so hard as a young kid, and then eventually being taken in such a tragic way.
Hatred was mutual between the two adults. Joe Barsi would come, and the first thing was to my husband, I'm going to kill that whore. One of these days, I'm going to kill her.
The last time I went and visited them, it was really hard because I saw her. We were the same person. It was just incredible. At that time, I really saw how afraid she was. I mean, he used to threaten us all the time, too, about burning the house down, killing us and burning the house down if we left him or if my mother tried divorcing him, that he would kill us all. She told me over and over again that she was afraid.
And what's so sad about this is that she kind of saw it coming. Maria wanted to leave her house, wanted to leave her husband, but she was scared to abandon the life that she had and for him to come after them. She told a neighbor, I can't because he'll come after us and kill us. He's threatened to burn the house down.
Judith had every reason to be afraid. As she and her mother packed to leave for the Bahamas location of Jaws 4, her father made his most terrifying threat.
He came into Judy's bedroom, closed the door, and took this kitchen knife and put it against her throat and told her that if you and your mother don't come back after the shooting, I'm going to cut your throat.
Once they reached the Bahamas, Maria told everyone who would listen about her fears for herself and Judith.
Unfortunately, he did not issue open threats, and Maria probably wishes that she had left and rented this apartment she was looking at in Panorama City and, move closer to the movie studios, focus on Judith's career, get her out of that home. But she acted, she never acted. It was a little bit too late. I mean, he was so violent, so aggressive, and it sounded like he almost kind of did this like premeditative, like he thought about it. For a while, he told people about it. He threatened them. He even told them about it. And it led Judith to being a 8, 9, 10-year-old girl hysterically crying because she was fearful her dad was going to kill her when she got home.
She was just constantly crying out about how concerned she was and how threatened she felt, almost to the point where nobody took her seriously. It was like, oh, here goes Maria again, just worried about going home to this crazy person.
When the filming was finished, Joe tracked them down at Maria's brother's home and over the phone threatened Judy again. Joe Barsi had now twice threatened to kill his daughter. And yet, incredibly, Maria returned to him with Judith the next day.
Now, around 8:30 a.m. on July 27th, 1988, one of the neighbors heard an explosion next door. Remember, the neighbors were hip to how bad the situation was because Maria would talk to them. So they thought, my first thought was, as I ran to call 911, he's done it, he's killed them, he set fire to the house, just like he said he would.
Monday morning, Judith was seen riding her bike in the neighborhood. She was never seen again.
He decided to do this Monday night sometimes after they went to bed.
He couldn't have anyone take the kids away. If he couldn't have her, then no one else would.
He decided to go in first to Judy's room, and he sat next to her, and he put the 38 to her head, and he shot through her head.
He just snapped. He absolutely snapped.
The police believe that after he murdered his wife and daughter, Joe Barsi wandered alone through the house for nearly 2 days.
They found Joe Barsi in a garage on his back with his revolver on his chest with a shot through his head.
That is disturbing, to take out your family like an execution style and then to wander aimlessly trying to figure out what to do next. Police found Judith in her bed and Maria was in the hallway. Both had been shot and doused with gasoline, and he ignited the house before taking his own.
Firemen found Judith and her mother Maria murdered by Judith's father, Joseph Barsi. Barsi then set fire to the house, went into the garage, and took his own life. How did Joe Barsi's love for his family come to end in violence and death?
Now, Judith died in July 1988. She lived on through her acting. 2 of her animated films, The Land Before Time, which is something I believe I grew up watching that, right? With the dinosaurs, the animation, and All Dogs Go to Heaven came out after she had passed away. In The Land Before Time, Judith voiced a cheerful dinosaur, Ducky, whose signature line was, "Yep, yep, yep," and it's inscribed on her tombstone. That is, I can't believe we're still talking about like a little girl. Like, really, he took away so much opportunity from her and Maria, and just so much more. I can't. Like, what? There's nothing that could have justified that. What do you think this man had? Like, schizophrenia, like paranoia, that they were out to get him? I mean, or was he so narcissistic and egotistical he just felt entitled to everything being his way? I truly don't know. I mean, the man lived off his daughter.
Hello? You should come out. You should. You are late. Yes, you are. Yep, yep, yep. Yep, yep, yep.
Well, there's no way to bring Judith back because she had been deceased for several days before the father had really alerted anyone of what was going on there. She really just lives through her films, TV shows, and commercials. She worked so much as a young kid. I mean, it kind of makes me question, like, why she worked so much. Probably to escape her home life.
Poor little Judy, she had nothing to do with the whole thing.
I truly believe in my heart, and this is why I think I can get through this. That Judy now is really in a happy place. And I'll probably start crying. But I believe she's in a really happy place right now. And she always wanted to go somewhere where people were happy. And so I believe now that she's in her magic kingdom and she's happy.
I'll lend you for a little time a child of mine, he said, for you to love the while she lives and mourn for when she's dead. She'll bring her charms to gladden you, and should her stay be brief, you'll have her lively memories as solace for your grief. Judith, we just want to say that we love you and we all miss you very much.
It is such a sad story, something that should have never happened, and there were plenty of warning signs. So I feel like nowadays people would report or speak out sooner, but back then this man had this power to do these things and to intimidate people and to then take his own family, which I feel like I can't imagine being married to someone and, I don't know, loving someone or creating a child and thinking you could dispose of it in that way is just really disturbing. Really gross. Ew, I don't like it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have a new one coming out soon, like I always do. I'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys.